I would say, this constituency is quite a stable constituency in terms of its political makeup.
But North Herefordshire has been Conservative for years.
At the last election, we were the second safest Tory seat in the country.
It's a farming county, and I think farmers are traditionally Conservative.
One of the things we've got in North Herefordshire, obviously, is the river pollution, the River Wye and other things. And that's so sad when you see, as a young boy, I used to fish in rivers and fish for trout and salmon, and now you're looking at a dead thing. And I find that very sad.
When we came to Hereford 60 years ago, there were 60,000 people, and now it's doubled, and we haven't got the facilities. We needed a bigger hospital, or more doctors, more consultants.
A lot of people are very concerned about health, and they're concerned about waiting lists.
There isn't enough care, there aren't enough people to look after. We're an ageing population.
The NHS is in a mess. I mean, it costs billions and billions to keep that running. It's huge, it's massive. I don't think anyone can sort it out.
The problem's not going to go away, it's going to get worse.
Not doing anything about immigration.
Immigration has to be sorted out, and they've all got different ideas on that. But it should have been sorted out a long time ago.
I'm not sure that it's a massive percentage of the people in Herefordshire foreign born. I think it's relatively low, and yet all these services are creaking at the seams. So I think that's not the root cause of the problem. We're now a small nation with a small economy and a big history.
I voted for Boris because he was Brexiteer and I believed in Brexit. I lived in France for 12 years. I saw how the EU works there. And so many of our friends in France said, we need a Frexit. And it looks like they're going to get a Frexit.
We've become much less consequential since Brexit. We just don't have a role at the decision-making table.
Came out of Brexit with big promises about what they were going to do with the money. Well, the health service certainly hasn't seen any of that money.
The trouble is, people these days go to the polls, they don't vote for a person, they vote for a party. So we get a load of plonkers in Parliament.
Bill Wigan is our local MP. He's a jolly good MP. If you write to him, he always responds.
He's just looking after his own self. He doesn't do anything. We write to him frequently, and you just get a standard letter back from him.
I can't see any example that I know of where he's done anything of positive consequence for me, my family, this constituency.
The sitting MP's been in for 23 years, and I haven't seen anything he's done or heard him speak in the House of Commons or on any committee. So I think we need new blood.
He cares about the local people. He lives in the local area. His family has got a factory here.
I think he's been an absentee landlord, as far as I can see, in his effect.
I don't know a lot about him. I only met him the once, and he didn't inspire me with confidence.
People want to change. Somebody actually do something.
But we do need change, but he's trying to get people to understand that.
I think we need to let somebody else have a chance of doing what this government's not been able to do.
No matter what your politics are, which party you like, what particular issues you're interested in, my feeling is you're not going to make any difference with your vote in this constituency. And that's, in a sense, a failing of the political system that we're in, that, I really feel my vote doesn't count.
I think we should have proportional voting, because I've been in this constituency for 60 years and I've never been represented, because it's always been a Conservative, and I'm not Conservative.
Slightly cynical, is it? But once people get into power, the incentive to change the system sort of drops a little bit, because, it's no longer an imperative for them.
Tony Blair was supposed to do proportional representation, but that went out the window.
It's really a question of whether I put in a protest vote or whether I don't bother.
Look at the three leaders. Rishi Sunak, very doubtful. Keir Starmer doesn't inspire me with confidence. Ed Daly, he seems to be immature. Do you know what I mean? Messing about on surfboards and playing Jenga, what the hell is that all about?
Don't want Labour in. We've had them before, they're an absolute disaster. We've had 14 years of Tory misrule. They're no longer Tory. I used to be a Tory member, resigned when Rishi was appointed, when we didn't want him.
I haven't ever voted consistently for any party.
Food is now 30% more expensive than it was in like a couple of years ago. And people's wages haven't gone up 30%.
We need to stop all the taxes for a start. Tax on everything. Everything's being taxed.
The Conservative Party are sort of offering to reduce taxes, but then where is the money going to come from to pay for all the services if we're not paying taxes?
In terms of brand of Tory party, the brand has always been, we will look after your best interests, particularly with the economy. And I think the credibility is gone, really.
But this town used to be thriving, really did. Well, look, it's dead. And it shouldn't be like this.
Publicans are suffering, pubs are closing, communities are closing and you're not losing touch with everybody because you can't afford to go out.
If you don't drive a car, you're really in trouble. So a lot of the conversations about increasing public transport are not going to make a difference here because the train lines went in the 1950s and they're not coming back.
It's dying, like all high streets. I mean, if you opened a shop in the high street, what would you sell? Nothing, because everybody's buying online.
Profits are being sent offshore. Taxes on that are being paid abroad, so it's all sucking money out of the local economy instead of circulating the money back into small businesses. A lot of people in this country are very unhappy. That's what I sense. We've had a lot of division.
A lot of people just been let down by both parties.
And a lot of that has been caused by politics.
For the first time ever, I may not vote, which I've never done before, because I think you should vote. Then you can't complain if things are wrong.
I would always vote. Women fought long and hard to get a vote. And if I didn't like the MP that we had, I would vote against that person rather than necessarily for the other side.
I don't like politicians that tell blatant lies. Starmer's father was not a tool maker, he owned the factory. Starmer went to a grammar school, he was privileged. I think it tells you all you need to know. They pretend they're working class when they're not.
But we're in a real mess, and I feel really sad to see the way it's gone, this country.
I travel every now and then out of UK, and I've seen the progress in the different countries. It's unbelievable. We're going backwards.
To me, whatever they say is a lie. And I know that. They'll promise you the world.
We need people who are honest in government and don't put themselves before the people.
They don't think of like me or you, the ordinary people. They think of themselves.
I was brought up in the country, and I like country life, but the way the world is going is very, very sad. I think if I was starting over again, I would not bring children into this world. Do you see what I mean?
I'm going to vote Green, and I'm very impressed with the lady Ellie, who's standing for this constituency.
I will be very surprised if they actually get in.
Part of what she has to do is to make somebody like me, believe that a vote for her is a vote well spent.
Try Green Party. but at the moment they are weak.
I've heard some of the Green stuff is ridiculous what they want to do, but I've never really paid any notice to it, really, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, years ago I used to support people like Greenpeace and the Green Party. Then they started being silly and going off at a tangent, and I lost confidence in them as well. So I don't think I would support the Green Party.
What kind of tangents do they go on?
Well, I don't like extremists of any kind, left wing, right wing, and these people are mostly extremists. They don't talk sense. The Green Party could never run this country, let's be honest. I'm involved with renewables.
That's interesting. You work in renewables, but you don't like the Green Party.
No, because they don't agree with what I do.
What is it that you do?
Wood burning. And they talk about particulate emissions to atmosphere and all that, and that wood burning stoves are going to be banned, and none of that is true, and they don't know what they're talking about. They need to know the facts.
The Greens are quite honestly haven't got the foggiest idea of how to run a business or run a world or anything.
You know, it's easy to influence the general public by scaring them, and that's not the way to do things.
Commercially, Greens want more environmentally friendly, whereas farmers have to make money.
I think Nigel is right. We need a complete change of government, and I think reform's the only way. I like their manifesto. I think it's common sense. I think they've priced it right. They've thought about it. They're not coming up with stupid ideas. And as far as I'm concerned, reform has my vote.
Reform, get rid of Labour, get rid of Conservative. They're the most important things. They're not working for the people, they're working for themselves and their buddies in Parliament. We're
going to have Labour in, but when they've made a mess in 5 years' time, that's when Nigel will come in, all guns blazing, and we'll have a Farage reform government.
People should be rightly sceptical of big changes and take it slowly.
They knew all about COVID. They didn't do anything. They just looked after themselves during the COVID time. They didn't do anything for the people. It's one big lie. AstraZeneca and all the COVID stuff, all the drug companies have all been taken to court now. So it just goes to prove it was bullshit. Journalism just to brainwash people. Geoengineering with the lines in the sky. You know what I mean? Well, what you need to do is look up to the sky instead of looking down at the floor and see all these lines going through the sky. They come out of the back of planes and drones and stuff like that, which they are spraying in the air to change the weather. This has been going on since the war. The Met Office have admitted, yes, we're spraying in the skies.
So the Met Office, what is it specifically the Met Office said?
Yes, they said they are spraying the skies with chemicals.
Is that why it's so cold this month?
Yeah. You've noticed that, middle of summer and 6-7 degrees and you walk around in your winter coat on. People having to put heating on.
Why are they doing that then?
Because they say we've got global warming. And what is global warming? No more bullshit. No such thing as global warming.
How I will vote will be between me and the paper when I have a postal vote. So I can sit at the table and think about it, where I put my cross.
All right, thank you so much.
No trouble.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.